You don't fall apart. That's the thing people admire about you. When something goes wrong, you don't panic. When emotions rise in the room, you become calm. When someone else is overwhelmed, you instinctively lower your voice, soften your presence, and make space for them. You're the one who can handle it. And maybe you've even told yourself a quiet story about this, that you're strong, grounded, emotionally mature, that you don't need as much as other people, that you've simply evolved past chaos. But there's another truth living underneath that: composure. Because while others are allowed to spill, you contain. While others unravel, you regulate. While others express, you compress. And over time, something subtle begins to happen. You don't just hold your emotions, you lose access to them. You notice it in small moments. When someone asks how you're really doing, and your mind goes blank. When something painful happens, and instead of feeling it, you analyze it. When joy arrives, but it never quite lands in your body. You're present, but not permeable. Stable, but sealed. This is the paradox of emotional containment. The very skill that once kept you safe, now keeps you distant. The composure that protected you now prevents you from being held. The control that helped you survive now quietly starves you of relief. And the most painful part: no one ever told you that you were allowed to put the weight down. Emotional containment is not the same thing as emotional regulation. Regulation is flexible, it moves, it allows expression and recovery. Containment is rigid. It seals emotion inside and calls it strength. Psychologically, emotional containment often develops in environments where emotional expression was unsafe, inconvenient, or destabilizing. This is where we introduce the first key concept. 1. Parentification occurs when a child implicitly or explicitly becomes responsible for the emotional stability of others, often parents, siblings, or the household atmosphere itself. You learned early that your feelings created problems, that your distress added weight, that calmness was rewarded and neediness was not, so you adapted. You became the emotional container, the one who could hold tension without leaking it. Next comes 2. Suppressive emotional regulation is a well-documented coping strategy where emotions are not processed but inhibited neurologically. This recruits the prefrontal cortex to override limbic activation, essentially thinking your way out of feeling. Over time, this rewires the nervous system. Instead of emotions moving through you like weather, they become stored pressure, unexpressed, unintegrated, and unresolved. Finally, we arrive at 3. Avoidant or dismissive attachment, not because you don't want closeness, but because closeness historically came with emotional chaos, intrusion, or burden, so your system learned. Connection is safest when I am self-contained. Your nervous system becomes a sealed vessel. From the outside, calm, competent, reliable. From the inside, tight, vigilant, and alone. You didn't choose this consciously. Your brain chose it to keep you alive. Here's the cost no one talks about. When you become the emotional container, you sacrifice resonance for stability. You trade aliveness for manageability. You trade expression for predictability. You trade being known for being safe. Carl Jung once wrote, "The greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of the parents. But there is another burden, the unlived emotional life of the self." You grieve silently for emotions you never expressed. Anger you swallowed. Sadness you intellectualized. Needs you dismissed as too much. This creates a specific kind of invisible grief. Not the grief of loss, but the grief of never having been fully witnessed. The core fear driving emotional containment is not weakness, it is relational. Collapse. The fear that if you let go, truly let go, something will break, someone will leave. You will overwhelm the room. You will become a problem instead of a solution. So even joy becomes moderated. Even love becomes filtered. Even pain becomes private. Life becomes something you manage, not something you inhabit. Emotional containment does not disappear in adulthood, it mutates. You might recognize it here, in relationships. You are the stable one, but rarely the vulnerable one. You listen deeply, support endlessly, yet struggle to ask for comfort without guilt. In conflict, you stay composed while dissociating internally. You resolve issues efficiently, but leave with unspoken resentment. In your career, you excel under pressure, but feel strangely empty after success. Achievement replaces emotional fulfillment. In boundaries, you don't explode, you quietly withdraw. Distance becomes your defense. Internally, you experience emotional numbness, punctuated by sudden exhaustion or delayed emotional crashes. In solitude, you feel calm, but also vaguely lonely, unsure what you're missing. These are not personality traits, they are coping strategies. Frozen in time, healing begins not by fixing them, but by witnessing them, by saying, "This made sense once. It doesn't have to define me forever." Unlearning emotional containment means allowing feelings to move again, slowly, imperfectly, without judgment. Healing does not mean becoming chaotic. It means becoming permeable. It means practicing emotional risk in small doses, naming feelings before explaining them, letting your body feel before your mind organizes. Inner child reparenting begins here, by giving yourself permission to be held, not just to hold. Shadow work invites you to reclaim the emotions you exiled in the name of strength. Softness is not regression, it is integration, as philosopher Martin Buber wrote. All real living is meeting, and that includes meeting yourself without armor. You were never meant to carry everything alone. Your calm was a miracle of survival. Your containment was an act of love. But now, you are allowed to open. Not to be fixed. Not to be less strong, but to become whole. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who has always been the strong one. And remember, emotional freedom is not losing control. It is finally letting life move through you.